Today we're talking the Hystrix Prime. This is a very interesting and unique weapon, and it is a direct upgrade from the Hystrix, and I gotta say that both weapons, especially the Prime version, is pretty darn good. It can deliver quite a punch, and it has a unique mechanic that you can see on the bottom there. You can change this pretty much isolated element by clicking the mouse wheel button, and yeah. I said this is isolated elements because you're not going to be able to make it interact with your other elemental mods and pretty much make a elemental combo. If I have electricity here, each shot is going to have a guaranteed electricity proc change. Same thing for the other elements. Yeah. So you got electricity, ice, poison, and fire. Isolated, your guaranteed procs. Pretty good. But remember when I said that it was a direct upgrade from the Hystrix, the normal version? That's kind of where the fun ends, because there's nothing unique, no special prime effect going on. It's more polarities and increased stats, and that's it. And I'm not sure for how long has this dead bodies follow the quills and deal more damage, I think, but who designed this? What the fuck were you thinking? Don't you play this game? What the fuck? You're giving enemies a shield. Why? Yeah, it has a unique interaction with Khora. It has a chance to pretty much refill your magazine, reload, you know, whatever you want to call, and that's it. So let's take a look on the build. Everything that I said, it's still a great weapon, but it is a single target one. So yeah, you know what to expect. I would say that this is a standard build. There's a free slot, you can put whatever you want. This is the basic. Go with your arcane, a bane, diffusion, galvanized. This weapon has a good distribution on critical chance, critical multiplier, and a reasonable status chance, so we're going critical. And we have our fire heal. Fire is gonna increase the damage pretty much from every source, because it's gonna increase damage they take on their health, and this is pretty good. So if you are looking for a cheap build, you don't have the bane, take this off, put Horned Strike. You don't have the arcanes, Horned Strike is gonna do the job. And if you don't have the bane and you have the arcane, you can still use Horned Strike, it's up to you. Use non-galvanized versions of diffusion and shock maybe, and non-prime versions of these ones, and these ones you can keep. Yeah, this is pretty standard. I would say that my preferred quills are the fire one and the electricity one. They're the ones who perform the better against armored targets. Not so much the electricity one, of course, but yeah. And the toxin one is gonna perform pretty good against the Corpus. So let's give it some shots. Let's get the arcane going actually. Yeah. You can see that we're doing pretty good damage. Pretty good. It's not even fully stacked yet, and we're already like demolishing everything. So yeah, it's a pretty good weapon. Of course, single target. You can add like Seeker and give it some punch through, but yeah, that's up to you if you want to do that. Let's find someone with more health. Yeah, as you can see, it deals a pretty good amount of damage. Let's change to electricity. Good, pretty good to me. As you can see again, why this mechanic? Why? You can see pretty much every element works. It just depends on what you want the most. You can even make these poison quills to deal quite a good amount of damage. dead. Damn. Yeah, pretty good weapon. But yeah, for it to be this good, the Riven disposition took quite a beating. If I'm not wrong, it was 4, now it's 1. I mean, the weapon is really good, but that is a serious blow on the disposition. Look at this. Crazy. Look at this Riven. 100% heat. Everything okay. And then we go to the Prime. Oh my god. Yeah. It took quite a beating. I'm not... I don't even know if it's worth the slot. For this extra slot here, I have to be honest. I've tried Galvanized Crosshairs and I like it. I like it a lot. I think it increases the damage by a ton. And this can even be a weapon, a viable weapon for something like a secondary deadhead. And not only secondary deadhead, but also Cascadia Flare, which, yeah, I'm gonna show you in a bit. But just take a look. You're gonna be guaranteeing your crits. You're gonna have a slight chance of getting a orange crit, and it's pretty good. Because we're removing some of the enemy armor, stripping it, not stripping it, but having it, we're dealing a pretty darn good amount of damage. And yeah. Yeah, pretty good damage. If you have an element with a dot, it's not gonna be like that easy to get to trigger the arcane, but if you just use the cold one, it's almost guaranteed that you're gonna be able to trigger the arcane. So pretty darn good. And I like it. I like it a lot like this. But yeah, this is what I would usually run. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's just fine like this. As we have a Fire Quill, you have really no problem triggering Cascadia Flare. So yeah, put the Fire Quill and just be happy. One mag might not trigger the whole arcane, but it's pretty good. And of course, it's gonna be more powerful than the others, but you have to keep the stacks up. So it might not be an arcane for everyone. Of course, Galvanized Crosshair is not gonna be as effective, but because we're gonna be getting a lot of heat procs, and the vast majority of our kills is gonna come from those heat procs, and then we're not gonna be able to trigger the arcane. But the arcane is direct damage, but even though what I just said, I just had the arcane max there. What might be dealing the most impact might even be the stagger that they're taking, and that's making me miss the shots, but you get the deal. It's still pretty darn good. But of course, you're gonna have to use the Fire Quill with this. So yeah, pick the arcane of your preference. I think this, I really like the weapon. It's a single target, so yeah. I have this build which is using my Riven. It's not as good, really not as good with the Prime version. I'm using more the normal version and trying some heat inherit builds and stuff. So yeah, it wouldn't be much different from this. But let's take a look on the Corpus. With the Corpus, I just removed the mod because it has negative damage to Corpus. So could mess things up. Would use the Poison Quill, get some Corpus stack here. Kill everyone, summon everyone again. And here we go. Look at that. It's pretty deadly. Yeah. I like it. I think it's pretty good. Against the Infested, I'm not even gonna summon enemies here, but Corrosive shall do it nicely. Pair it with Heat, proc your Cascadia Flare. I even tried making a build like only for Heat, and I could even change this heated charge for some, I don't know, for the Galvanized Crosshairs. Every single build is gonna perform just fine. Some are gonna be better than others, but still, I think it's a pretty good weapon. Not only they're moving not only because of the some impact procs, but also the heat proc makes them like panic. Not sure if the disposition for this weapon is gonna remain as it is. Of course, this pure heat one is not as strong as the others, but yeah, it's just interesting. It might be much better if I strip armor and use a primer. Of course, I'm not doing that. Why not use a primer? Let me take my Mutilus Cernos. This is the one, the primer. Yeah, it was just missing a primer. Damn. That's so much shots. Pretty darn good again. It's very powerful. Gives you a lot of possibilities. Deals a good amount of damage. Really good amount of damage. And yeah, it's just missing something extra. I think it's still a pretty good weapon. I've been running with it for quite a lot, testing a lot of stuff, especially the Hidden Inherit thing that I was talking about. What could have they done to go a step further with this weapon? They could have done make so these this element down there counts as an extra projectile, but keep it isolated, don't make it interact with anything else. Or 2, don't make it an extra don't make it an extra quill, and just allow it to interact with the rest of your build to build another element or something like that. I think that could probably be too tricky. I have no idea if that would be even possible. But yeah, doing any of these two would already make this weapon super interesting, at least for the sole purpose of running the Profit Taker. Profit Taker fight requires multiple elements, and that could be something very interesting. It would give people a kind of a major reason to make a Hystrix Prime and build it, put some Forma. Yeah, would really shake things up. I still think it is a very interesting weapon. Good, I like it, been running with it, gonna run it a little more. I wanna make some more stuff for Inherit. If I were to change my Riven, if the disposition ever goes up, not sure. As it is, it's pretty much perfect for Heat Inherit builds against the Grineer. The projectile speed is not the best thing, but this weapon is not really a hit scan. It's the shots on the wall seems like a hit scan, but yeah, it has travel time. So yeah, it's not that bad. And I'm not even sure if this projectile speed is affecting that, because you know, it's very strange. But for the normal Hystrix is pretty good. I've been running some Heat Inherit stuff with this and seeing pretty much how it's going. It's going pretty interesting. And yeah, I even I just put it the last form. I forgot to change this for the Prime version. So, yeah. I like it. Still like both versions. But, yeah. I think they could have done a little more. The normal Hystrix was already kind of strong. But this one with increased stats, it's even better. I'm just really not a fan when they do stuff like this. And they don't add something more to make it more unique now that it is a Prime. But these bodies following the quills is pretty bad. Please remove that or make something better out of it. And you could even think that there could be, I don't know, some crazy interaction with these bodies and stuff, but it's just to make your life harder. I don't think it's gonna have any good thing coming out of this. See you in the next one. Bye!